In the icy waters of San Francisco Bay, an ominous silhouette rises from the mists. Alcatraz, also known as the Rock. This was once the final destination for America's most notorious criminals, an island prison from which escape was deemed unimaginable. When it passed from Spanish to American control in 1848, Alcatraz's destiny was initially to defend San Francisco. However, over time, especially in the 1930s, with its reinforced walls and new buildings, it transformed into a legendary fortress, hosting the nation's most dangerous inmates, where escape was an impossible dream. Names like Al Capone and Machine Gun Kelly served time in its cold cells. The relentless waves and freezing waters of the Pacific made any attempt to flee this island virtually hopeless. From the 1930s to the 60s, numerous escape attempts were made, but most either ended in recapture or met their demise in the bay's unforgiving waters. Until June 1962. That night, 3 men would shatter all tales of inevitable doom, executing one of history's most audacious and ingeniously planned prison breaks. The mastermind of the crew was Frank Morris, renowned for his sharp intellect. He had a history of escape attempts from other prisons, a success that ultimately landed him on Alcatraz. Joining him were the brothers John and Clarence Anglin. They too had repeatedly tried to escape, eventually finding themselves on the Rock. And then there was Alan West, the 4th link in the chain, unaware that fate had a different role in store for him. Frank Morris was convicted of crimes such as bank robbery and theft. After multiple escape attempts from various prisons, he was transferred in January 1960 to Alcatraz, the prison from which no one had ever successfully escaped. Frank had been abandoned by his family at the age of 11, and by 13, he had already committed his first crime and entered the correctional system. In addition to being an experienced thief, he had been in and out of juvenile detention centers and prisons numerous times for armed robberies and drug trafficking. His final sentence was a 10-year term for a bank robbery, which led him to Alcatraz. Frank's partners in the escape plan were brothers John and Clarence Anglin. Coming from a family of farm laborers, the Anglin brothers committed their first crime at the age of 14. Over the years, they escalated to larger crimes, including bank robberies. Eventually, they were captured in Alabama and sentenced to 35 years in prison, after numerous escape attempts at the Atlanta Penitentiary. They were transferred to Alcatraz in 1960 and 1961, 1 year apart. The final member of the group was Alan West, a thief from New York. Before ending up in Atlanta prison, he had been arrested more than 20 times. Throughout his criminal history, he had been incarcerated in several different prisons, attempting to escape each time. After finally being caught stealing a car, he was sent to Alcatraz in 1957, becoming the last piece of this infamous escape story. These 4 men, capitalizing on the proximity of their cells, meticulously wove their escape plan over months of painstaking work. With spoons pilfered from the mess hall, broken saw blades from the workshop, and even a handmade drill fashioned from a faulty vacuum cleaner motor, they patiently, night after night, chipped away at the ventilation grates beneath their sinks. To deceive the guards, they placed eerily realistic dummy heads in their beds, crafted from soap, toilet paper, and even real human hair collected from the prison barber. Crawling through the enlarged vents, they reached an unused utility corridor behind their cells. From there, they climbed to the prison roof, establishing a secret workshop. With the help of other inmates, they gathered over 50 raincoats, fashioning them into a makeshift but functional raft and life vests. Inspired by an article in Popular Mechanics, they sealed this primitive boat using heat from the hot water pipes. By the night of June 11, 1962, everything was set. The dummy heads were in their beds. However, Alan West, having narrowed his own hole with cement at the last minute, found himself stuck. The others couldn't wait. Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers made their descent down a 15-meter kitchen pipe and navigated 2 barbed wire fences to reach the dark waters of the bay. They inflated their handmade raft using an accordion's bellows as a pump and, around 10 p.m., began paddling towards their target, Angel Island. The next morning, when the guards discovered the dummy heads, the alarm was raised. An extensive search was launched. For 10 days, air, land, and sea were scoured, but no trace of the trio was found. Just a few days later, a paddle was discovered near Angel Island, and a fisherman found a waterproof pouch containing a wallet with the names and photos of the Anglin brothers' relatives. Pieces of raincoat, believed to be from the raft, later washed ashore near the Golden Gate Bridge. Although the FBI and Alcatraz officials claimed the inmates had drowned, their bodies were never recovered. This only fueled the legend of their escape. The Anglin brothers' mother received anonymous flowers and postcards on Mother's Day and Christmas, until her death in 1973. It's even rumored that 2 unusually tall, heavily made-up women whom no one recognized attended her funeral. Years later, in 1989, a similar incident occurred at their father's funeral. 2 bearded, goggled strangers appeared and left in tears. Robert Anglin, another brother who wasn't imprisoned, confessed on his deathbed in 2010 that he had been in contact with his fugitive brothers from 1963 until the 1990s. A photograph, allegedly taken in Brazil in 1975, seemed to support these claims. And then, in 2018, a bombshell. The FBI confirmed that in 2013, the San Francisco Police Department had received a letter purportedly written by John Anglin. It read, "My name is John Anglin. I escaped from Alcatraz in June 1962 with my brother Clarence and Frank Morris. I am 83 years old and in bad shape. I have cancer. Yes, we all made it that night, but barely." Frank passed away in October 2008. His grave is in Alexandria under another name. My brother died in 2011. If you announce on TV that I will be promised to go to jail for no more than a year and get medical treatment, I will write back to let you know exactly where I am. This is no joke. Despite confirming the letter, the FBI never made such a public announcement. More than 60 years have passed since the Great Escape from Alcatraz. Did Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers truly perish in the cold Pacific waters? Or did they sail into a new life, taking their secrets with them? This may remain a mystery forever unsolved. But one thing is certain. Their story endures as an unforgettable legend, pushing the limits of human ingenuity and the unyielding desire for freedom.